Most High in Christ. Give it to him. Priest and Officer Abadja out here with Officer Parataza and Officer Hayala. Okay, we're going to get into this. Tonight's class is Remember the Days of Old, right? We're going to remember the days of old. How? What's it called? By going through and seeing what the Most High said to us in the past. And that's the first scripture we're going to get. Give me Deuteronomy 32:7. Okay? Remembering the days of old. We're good? All right. Most High in Christ. Remember the days of old. Remember to like and share this across all platforms. Remember the days of old. Meaning we're going to go back and not just remember the good, but we're going to remember the bad too. Because here's the thing. We should remember Christmas inside the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Right? It is a good thing for us to have a remembrance of this holiday season. Right? And we're going to go into remembering Christmas. Okay? Right. We're going to go into remembering the days of old of our oppressors. Right. Remembering his traditions. Now, you go into a book, Babylon and Timbuktu, which many of you have read. Right? According to Windsor, Greco-Roman culture is only alive because we were their slaves and basically forced to know their culture. Right? You would not have knowledge of ancient sciences and mathematics and so on and so forth from these places like Greece and Rome had we not kept them. Had we not kept them and gave them out freely. Right? That's why these things exist. Because we don't just sit there and ignore your culture. Y'all think we just, this group or race of people that just go off to their side and don't do any technological advancement. We do advance, right? We each keep a record of everything that goes on here, right? We're going to get doctors and lawyers and so on and so forth. We're going to build up our nation. We're just not going to become a part of yours. That's the point. We have no problem learning economics. We have no problem learning sciences. We have no problem giving you sciences that we already have. If we have advancements, we have no problem giving it to the world. But here's the problem. The world doesn't want to advance with us. The world just wants to take us over. Right? Now give me what you got. Deuteronomy 32:7.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 7. Remember the days of old.
We are to remember the days of old. This is in the Torah. It is a sin to forget what happened to us in the past. Right? It is a sin for us to forget what was done to us by our oppressor. It is a sin for us to forget our ancient culture. These are sins. Remember the days of old, right? Now keep reading when you get a chance. Khan.
Consider the years of many generations.
Look at the years of many generations. What's many generations? Slavery. That's many generations.
Right.
I was thinking about this today. Y'all can't, our enemies can't say that. Right? The Jewish man cannot say that he spent generations under Hitler's rule. I have to go back and do the math, but Hitler came into power in, what, the 20s?
Right.
He was taken out or died in, what, like 45, 44? Y'all did not go through even 20 years, really. Barely. Of Hitler's reign. And y'all try to say Nick Cannon had some cat up in his studio saying that they went through more in the camps than we did in 400 years.
Right.
And you want to know something that's so funny? Khan.
So you can't also, you have to understand this. It was Jewish slave masters in the South.
Damn right.
Right.
So it was slave masters in the South.
Right. Salaki, if I may, there's another mic for him? Khan, Khan. And you're absolutely right, brother. I just want to make sure brothers can hear you because that's a point. If though y'all can't hear the brother said an excellent point. There were Jewish slave masters. There were, okay, I'll give you another one. One of the generals for the Confederacy was Jewish.
Right. Check. 1, 2.
Most High in Christ. One of the generals for the Confederacy was Jewish. And let me get into this because I find very funny they try to speak of slavery as this antebellum type thing, or try to speak of slavery American-wise, and they try to forget that we were here for 400 years. Slavery really didn't start with the 1800s. It's just that's the creation of quote-unquote America. Those same Americans were British citizens who are enslaving us the same. That's it. Right? So now, what's it called? Keep reading. You need to ask about these many generations and what they went through. Right? Many generations, many families, many generations of families had to go through this. And you need to remember those times. Read on.
Ask thy father.
Ask what?
Thy father.
Ask what?
Thy father.
Why do you think they get rid of him? Why do you think your father's removed from the home? You know who's the first person to tell you not to sell drugs? Your drug dealing father.
Right.
You think Power's lying to you? You think Ghost's relationship with Tariq is a made-up scenario? It's not. Ghost sold drugs so in the hopes that Tariq would never have to. Right? Yeah, that's why usually Ghost is taken out the home. Khan, Paratazar, you was going to say something?
Salaki, sir, if I may, actually, I was about to say that you learn, you know what I'm saying, not to sell drugs usually from your father.
Right.
He's the protection.
Right. And that protection is gone. You want to listen to whoever God knows what, right? I'm just making sure there's any comments on here. All right, Most High in Christ. Shalom to the chat. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Okay. Keep going. And he will.
Khan. And he will show thee.
And he's going to show you. Ask your father and he'll show you what happens to the drug dealer. He'll show you what that life is like. Right? Keep going.
Thy elders.
Ask the elders of your people. Right? Keep going.
And they will tell thee.
And they're going to tell you what it's like in the past. But our elders are destroyed. Our communities are destroyed. We're taught not to respect our elders. Okay? Now drop that because we're going to get into this. Because in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, give me 2 Maccabees 7, the 7th chapter. We keep the traditions of old. Inside of this place, we have a very big tradition that I personally keep up, right? Now, I was telling the brothers this, but every year, if it is not brought up, I try to, during Hanukkah, the service, I try to make sure to go into it during history class, to make sure that this is always remembered, right? Because this is an important event in our people's history. And it gives us all a certain spirit. And if you know this story and you know this account, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And this should always be remembered. This should be a tradition amongst our people to always tell this story. Right? Because this story puts the spirit of love for your people inside of you. Right? You got it?
Constant.
Maccabees 7:1.
This is 2 Maccabees chapter 7, verse 1. And it came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the Lord to taste swine's flesh.
So this king took these 7 brothers and their mother to taste swine's flesh. Right? Keep going.
and were tormented with scourges
and
and
tormented with
whips.
scourges and whips, meaning he beat them,
Right.
right? He's beating them, saying, you must eat this pork. This is how you became Christian,
Right.
right? The same exact way. Our oppressor has never changed. Keep reading.
Verse 2. But one of them that spake first and said, what wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than transgress the laws of our fathers.
Rather than transgress the laws of who?
Our fathers.
Our fathers. Why? Because they remembered the days of old.
Right.
They asked their fathers, and he told them. If somebody said, come around saying eat pork, don't listen to them. Die before you eat pork. Right? And that's the sad part. This brother's saying, you'll get nothing out of us. We're not going to eat the pork. We're ready to die for this. I'm just letting you know that now. Read on, verse 3.
Verse 3. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot.
Be made hot, meaning what? He's going to kill this brother. Khan. Keep going.
Verse 3. Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot. Verse 4. Which forthwith being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut out the utmost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on.
The utmost parts of his body, meaning basically his limbs. Cut off his limbs. Keep going.
Verse 5. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire.
Now, after they beat them, they are beating them and torturing them, right? And in the middle of the torture, yo, up this! We ready to die! We not gonna eat the pork. I ain't no sweat. Take him, get a pot ready. Cut out his tongue. This is after hours of being beaten and tortured. Now cut off his, I'm gonna say they said the utmost, I'm gonna say cut off his hands and his feet. Right? He's still wrangling in pain. Now this is what they're doing while he's still alive. Read. And cut off the utmost part of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on. Keep going.
Verse 5. Now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, being yet alive, to be brought to the fire.
To be brought to the fire, right? Keep going.
And to be fried in the pan.
And to be fried in the pan. Right?
And as
keep going.
And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed,
right,
they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully.
To die what?
Manfully.
To die what?
Manfully.
Yeah. Meaning what? His brothers and his mama was cheering him on. As I said, yeah, die like a man.
Right.
Don't eat the pork. While your son is so much of a homosexual, his school tells him he can be a girl so he can worship this and that.
Right.
Keep going.
Saying thus, verse 6. The Most High Power looketh upon us, and in the truth hath comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witness to their faces declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants.
He's comforted in us, meaning you have a problem with this. It may hurt me now, but God is very happy to see this. God is very happy to see children go against Christmas. God is very happy to see that there are children that don't succumb to peer pressure. That puts a smile on his face. Your child's a follower.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 7. So when the first was dead after this number, they brought the second to make him a mocking stock.
Make fun of him. Right? Keep going.
And when they had pulled off the skin of his head with the hair,
they scalped him. Right? They took him by the hair, about right here, dug into his skin, and then ripped off his scalp. Keep going.
they asked him, wilt thou eat
Now you don't eat the pork. Keep going.
before thou be punished throughout every member of thy body?
And if you don't, like, we're just gonna make it worse, and we're just gonna deal with every part of you. Keep going.
Verse 8. But he answered in his own language and said, no,
Said what?
no,
What?
no.
What did he actually say out of his mouth? He said it in his own language. So what did he say?
He said, la'ah.
La'ah. No. I still won't eat the pork. He's bleeding like his whole what's called is bleeding. He can't see nothing. No, I'm not going to eat pork.
Right.
You didn't see me a second ago cheering on my own brother to death, literally. And you think I'm going to sit here and be a pussy? No. No. I'm not going to eat pork. Keep going.
Wherefore he also received the next torment in order, as the former did.
Now, please break down what that means. He received the torture in order as the former did.
They asked him, was he going to eat pork?
Right.
And he said no. He said la'ah.
Right.
And it says, wherefore he also received the next torment in order as his brother did. And so exactly what they did to his brother in order, they did to him.
So after he also got beat, had to watch his brother be killed in a certain fashion, they scalped him.
Right.
Then they cut out his tongue.
Right.
Then they cut off his hands.
Right.
Then they boiled him to death.
Right.
Yeah. Keep going, because we still got 5 more brothers.
Verse 9.
You might skip, but come.
Verse 9. And when he was at the last gasp, he said, thou like a fury takest us out of this present life, but the King of the world shall rise us up, who have died for his laws unto everlasting life.
Yeah, they knew the truth.
Right.
Before Christ. This
Right.
sister stood with the law. And let this be a lesson to you. Always remember this when it comes to, keep this in your chest, and remember this when it comes to, like, good white people. These are good black people. Why did we go into slavery? God.
Salakia, sir, if I may, the reason why we went into slavery because we was disobedient to the Most High God.
So why were the Greeks allowed to do this to us?
Because it was a punishment.
But this woman taught her kids the law. They didn't eat pork. So
Right.
why is this happening to them?
The reason why it's happening to them because it was, because Most High go by nations, go by the collective. It doesn't matter how good you are or how bad you are.
Individually,
but if the nation is not following suit, the nation have to take the burden.
Yeah, that's how I feel about your good white people. I get it. Some of y'all actually are nice. They do give to black people.
Right.
Absolutely. But as a nation, this is what your people have done to my people. So yeah, y'all collectively have to pay for it. Just like this woman collectively had to pay for all the evil that Israel was doing.
Right.
Y'all got to pay for all the evil that Esau does.
Right.
Con.
Salakia, sir, if I may, even though I'm doing on September 11th, it was only individuals who did the act.
Right.
And the entire Afghanistan had to take the burden.
Damn right. Damn right.
So one thing about September 11th, it wasn't even just that. The whole thing got to take an attack. You also got to look at it from the standpoint of we had to go to war. Look, I just did a whole lesson last year on how stupid y'all look after all my people went and fought in that war 20 years ago, lost lives and limb for y'all to lose the country in a week. The whole nation paid for September 11th. What a handful of people did. Right? That's how this works. The nation pays for a few people's stupidity.
Right. And also, if I may,
God.
not only the nation that is current, but the children have to pay for the transgressions of their fathers.
I'll forget about it.
You know, because you hear a lot of Christians and a lot of people say, well, this particular white person, he ain't never owned no slaves. He ain't never did nothing. No, he has to pay for what his forefathers did.
Right. God. Now keep back into this. You got a little something to go with. After him, 10. After him.
Verse 10. After him was the third made a mocking stock.
Was the third made a mocking stock. Keep going.
And when he was required, he put out his tongue. That's deep. He put out his tongue. Yeah, like, let's do it. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We're not no cowards.
Damn right.
That's what that translates to. No cowards. Keep going.
And that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully.
You know what this is? You know what that spirit is? And it's disgusting because I say this all the time. Because of our lack of culture, we don't understand certain aspects of our culture that people question and don't truly understand. There's a reason for it. You know what that is? You know what sticking your tongue out is? Sticking your tongue,
Oh, Salaki, so if I may, sticking your tongue out is still is a mocking.
No, not in this sense. He's saying I'm ready to get what my brothers get.
Right.
Right? You know what that is? That's what Gunny's not doing. And Gunny's not the only one. I'm hearing a few of them cats like, yeah, listen. Because, like, look, I'm not in that life and all that, but because it's like, it's a little funny because they're saying he's not, Gunny himself saying, I'm not snitching, I'm just taking a plea. But you really, the recording I saw, are you a part of this? Are you a part of this? Yes. Is it a gang? Yes. Nigga, what else do you have to say? And sign this paper that says, if we need you to sit right here and say, yo did illegal things on this guy's orders, you will sit there, point to that guy and say, yeah, that's the guy who told me to do these illegal things. I consider that snitching.
Right.
But here's the thing. The reason I bring that up is there's brothers that understand that's our spirit. I will get what my brother gets. Right?
Right.
And they're misled by idiots who wear dresses.
Right.
Right? I saw a video where Street Cat was saying, yo, he helped Gunna do all this to come up and do all that. He helped Gunna come up. Gunna's probably facing 20 years. That's why Gunna's talking. Gunna loves his mama. Gunna loves his baby mama.
Right.
Gunna loves his children. He helped him so much. He said, yo, I'm going to have you do something that'll take you away from them. But he loves Gunna so much.
Right.
Yeah, that's the truth. You want brothers to actually, what's it called? Give them something substantial. Don't eat pork, it'll kill you. I'm trying to keep you from cancer. Don't be a thief. I got legal. Get on this mic and make this legal money. You don't have to sell drugs anymore. I don't know Young Thug's net worth. Young Thug got money though. What happened in the days with Puff Daddy? Puff Daddy told Biggie straight up, stop selling drugs. Like, remember when you used to give a damn about your artists, at least for your own money's sake? I'm sure Puffy, when it first started, wasn't really giving a damn about what's called. Oh, Big's a nice guy, so I don't want him doing 25 to life. Nigga, I need you at a show so we can both get this money. Stop selling drugs. But these niggas, now I'm going to give you this bag. You join YSL now. You're going to get your own little team, and it's going to be a whole gang thing. You know why? Because y'all are under this Christmas spirit. And y'all know nothing about it. But this brother, I'm ready to die and receive what my brother gets. Y'all don't have that same loyalty in YSL. Right? Keep reading.
Khan. Verse 11.
No, keep going. No, right? So, like, The third, and when he was required,
And when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully.
here you go. Y'all cutting tongues and hands, right? Yeah. This is what Gunner's not doing. No sweat. 20 years. Oh, I thought I was 20. I thought I was gonna get 40. No sweat. All right, I got you. Cool. And one thing I don't understand, y'all drug dealers. Y'all in a black market cash business, and everybody worried about some money. Here's the second thing. A lot of y'all, I half understand y'all, because it's like, to a point, if you ain't living a life where you could depend on someone in your time of need, I have X amount of hundreds of thousands of dollars buried in this location, and know that person's going to take that money and use it to benefit you. I can understand why you kind of live the way you do. Because I don't understand that. I don't understand how y'all can be so afraid, like, what's called, in such a cash business. Come on. You got, keep reading.
Verse 11. And said courageously, these I had from heaven.
These I have from what?
From heaven.
Yeah, God gave me these. Keep going.
And for his law I despise them.
And for his law, I'll hate them. Like, you know what he's really saying? If I eat that pork, I'll never be able to look at my hands again. Not too much. Oh, damn. Sorry, I mean, yeah. You know, you understand that? If I were to eat this pork, I'll be ashamed of my hands. For his law, I despise them. That is probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Keep going. No, I'm good.
And for him, I hope to receive them again.
And what?
And for him, I hope to receive them again.
Where? Where is he going to receive them again?
In the kingdom.
Yeah. Give me better. Where would he receive them? God.
In the regeneration.
Right. In the reincarnation.
Reincarnation.
When he comes back, or the regeneration. Either one is correct. Regeneration, resurrection, reincarnation, all the same thing. You come back. And this brother was aware of that. That's why I understand. This is the quintessential part of why we have to believe in heaven. Right? The belief in heaven keeps this alive. If you don't believe in heaven, this controlling us is nearly impossible. We'll die and come back. That's how we think. I'll be back in this month. I'll be back. Keep going.
Verse 12. Insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded his pains. Verse 13.
Like, yo, this guy is really willing to die.
Right.
Ready for it. Keep going.
Verse 13. Now when this man was dead also.
And now here's the thing to understand about these oppressors. Like, the devil don't understand no snitching. Because the devil comes from a race that's headed by the United States and Russia. The British and the French. Like, white people's whole MO is turning on each other. Like, they can't understand our level of camaraderie. Keep going. Now when this man
was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner.
Yeah. No leeway. Keep going.
14. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the power to be raised up again by him. As for thee,
raised up again by him. This is reincarnation.
Right.
This is clearly blatant. Khan.
Salakia, sir. Now, if I may, I'm going through the scriptures.
Right.
I'm going through from the scriptures, Priest Officer Hayala, while you're breaking it down, I'm thinking about this. Now, this is on display. Is this?
Yes.
In front. This is on display.
Yes.
So these, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This mother and her sons are showing their people, their nation. They're showing them individuals. These
Right.
is individuals.
Right.
That's showing to a nation of people
Right.
that you don't have to cower out.
Right.
That's pretty much what they're showing, correct, sir?
Right.
So
This is correct.
yeah, that goes along because I'm thinking that a lot of individuals I got to get along to go along. You know what I'm saying?
And it's so heavy, he never gave ages. Salaki, not to cut you off.
Sir.
Keep going, keep
And
going.
all, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk the way those, you know what I'm saying, that family's talking
Right.
because I got to go make my money.
Right.
I got to, you know what I'm saying? I want to do, you know what I'm saying? I got to feed my own kids.
Right.
But don't realize this is for your nation.
Right.
You're showing your nation that you're a coward. And
Right.
the other family is not showing the nation that they're a coward.
Right.
So
You're absolutely right. And to piggyback off them, there's one we also bring up usually every year. Idiots that thought it was that don't know the law and thought you're supposed to stand there and die on the Sabbath day. General Hyman said this. We don't know any of their names. We know Mattathias'. You know what Mattathias said when he heard that? Come see us on the Sabbath day. We will fight you. We don't know their names, but we know their stories. All the cowards who ate the pork, nobody knows them. Khan.
see what you're saying is so hard body one west because I'm trying to bring it on to the current time because
Right.
it's going on exactly how it was going on back then.
Right.
You have cowards, they're not messing with me. You got those cowards. You know what I'm saying? They're not messing with me and my family. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing
Right.
harm against me.
Right.
So why should I talk against them? You know what I
Right.
mean? Oh, they messing with you, but that's just you. That's your business.
Right.
I'm gonna do my business over here.
Right.
I'm gonna do business. Of course I'm gonna do. Of course I'm gonna go do business with people who killed your family.
Right.
Of course I'm gonna, because they didn't kill my family.
Right.
But meanwhile, those are the same nation of people
Right.
that, you know what I mean? Those are the same nation of people. So what I'm showing is there's no loyalty to each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's only loyalty to who's on top.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Towards these people. So
You good. Keep going, Har.
God. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
What does that mean? Do white people not come back from the dead? Is that what that's saying?
No, that's not what that says.
So what is that talking about?
That's talking about when he does come back, he's coming back into hell.
Exactly. This is a Greek. You know, a few years ago, Greece was basically killing itself because they lost all their money.
Right.
Wheelbarrows of goddamn money. That's you. That's what you came back to.
Right.
You were having the Greeks were on time at one time. Now you're not. We will have the last laugh, man. That's what he's saying. We will have the last laugh. It's written in stone. My ancient people have prophecies. We don't eat pork. We will have the last laugh.
Right.
You enjoy your day. You have 1 second. Remember, this is about, give or take, around a century after Ezra said, what's called Esau is the end, Jacob is it that follows. There's a woman who taught it to her 7 sons. You see these crackers in power, just know your time's coming right after. Shut up and eat this pork. Yeah, I'm gonna die. I will gladly die. I will come back. Literally, you will be calling me what's called, Captain Mashat said, Lord Nigger. I remember that. Captain Mashat said, yeah, in the kingdom, my slaves are going to have to call me Lord Nigger.
Right.
Right? And what's called, he said, I'm going to have a little white baby, and I'm going to take a little white baby from his mother. And then every year, I'm going to come back on that same day with a baby of the same age. And anytime she tries to ask me, is that my child? I'm going to scoop the baby and run out the plantation and not come back for another year. Yeah. Why does he have that spirit? Yes. John, make it quick though. We gotta. John.
And this is like I said, this is a family of people who's following the least commandment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The least commandment.
Right.
I
don't
don't think I'm going to get judged by me eating pork.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what our people say.
Right.
But meanwhile, you have a family that's willing to die for that least commandment.
Right.
That's what I can say.
God. Keep going, Ho.
Come with Khan. Verse 15. Afterward, they brought the fifth also and mangled him. Verse 16. Then looked he into the king and said, Thou hast power over men. Thou art corruptible. Thou doest what thou wilt. Yet think not that our nation is forsaken of the power.
Yeah, meaning you can do as you please, but at the end of the day, God will deal with you with your wheelbarrows of money.
Right.
Greece is a joke now. Greece is a joke now. Right? That homosexual debauchery is a joke now. I want to say both, but no, it's the Greeks. Understand, dykes come from Greece. Do you know where dykes come from? The image of a dyke does not come from lesbians. It comes from heterosexual women. Do you know why? Being a homosexual, all that stuff, messes with your mind mentally. If you're in a lifestyle or in a society where that really teaches so strongly that men should be with men, it came to a point where women had to dress up like men in order for men to get aroused enough to have sex for procreation. Dykes don't come from lesbians. Dykes come from heterosexual Greek women having to dress up like men so men will. They had to wear army apparel. Like really sit there. Matter of fact, y'all ever watched the first scary movie? The first scary movie with Sean Williams, that homosexual. Remember when he had his girlfriend dress up because they was in high school in that first one? He had to dress up in his football uniform like that. This is what they wanted this woman to teach her 7 sons. Let your sons be homosexuals and eat pork. Yeah, we ain't doing that. We don't go to gymnasiums and we don't eat pork chops. Keep going.
Verse 17. But abide a while, and behold this great power, how he will torment thee and thy seed.
And thy what?
And thy seed.
And thy what?
And thy seed.
Right, like he said earlier, you can't deal with their children. That's exactly what's going to happen. I don't see his kids laughing at anything in this verse, but your children will be punished for what you did just now.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 18. After him also they brought the 6, who being ready to die said, Do not be not deceived without cause, for we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our power.
Keep going.
Therefore, marvelous things are done unto us. Verse 19.
Now, what is he saying? Keep going. No, read verse 19.
But think not thou that takest in hand to strive against the power, that thou shalt escape unpunished.
What is he saying here? What is he saying in 18 and 19? Very simple. This cat done killed, what is this? We on number 6. He done killed 5 of these cats, right? Just in the most horrible manner, right? So the 6th one comes up and says, yo, don't be deceived. Right?
Right.
But we suffer these things for ourselves, having sinned against our power. Therefore, because of that, marvelous things are done unto us.
Right.
So what is he saying?
He's saying because we sinned against the Most High, these horrible things are being done unto us.
So why shouldn't the king be deceived? What might he be?
Yeah. Don't think that just because we're going through this, that our power, the Most High God, has forsaken us or turned his back on us.
Kind of.
Don't be deceived to think that this king got power over us.
Right.
Right.
Like, yeah, you thinking, yeah, I'm better. I'm all this and I'm all that. Nigga, I hope you, because this king's probably smiling and doing all that. Nigga probably looks at him like, you're laughing at our pain, thinking you just saw high and mighty. I'm going to just let you know now, like, we messed up. Like, you're only this powerful because we made a mistake.
Right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't even be in this position in the first place. So please understand that. Like, I need you to understand. There will be a reckoning for what you're doing here. Right? You laughing at us, the Romans are going to make you laugh. And then the United Nations are going to make you laugh. When they tell you we're going to treat you like niggas.
Right.
They gave them an austerity deal. You know, there are only 2 nations on earth that are under an austerity deal. You know what they are? Mexico and Jamaica. We're going to treat you like niggers. And Greece had a problem. How are you going to treat us like niggers? You know what an austerity deal is? Jamaica can't sell bananas, which is their main export, and Mexicans can't sell corn, which is their main export. Basically, we'll give you money, you just can't make your main export. The main source of your money, you can't make it. So now with you out the way, we can get all the banana money. And that doesn't mean all the bananas in Jamaica are trapped. That just means Jamaicans can't sell the bananas in Jamaica. Dole can, though. The big corn companies can go into Mexico. But Mexicans cannot make bananas. No, Mexicans can't make corn money. And Greece said, you can't treat us like that. We are. That's how y'all got treated. Right? So don't think you're better than us. One day you'll be in Greece crying with a real battle of paper. Because there won't be money anymore. It'll just be paper. Keep going. Verse 20.
Verse 20. But the mother was marvelous above all and worthy of honorable memory. For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of 1 day, she bare it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in the Most High.
Bitch, you leave your husband because you got another wife. She saw
Right.
her kids killed in the span of a day and cheered it on. You think your husband got another wife, you're ready to leave. Khan.
This mother did not say, I'm going to eat the pork for the kids.
Oh, no.
Oh, she didn't say that.
For the kids. For the children. No. You die for those children. You die for Jesus. She taught her children to suffer. And the scripture says, when that first one dies, be reminded, this comforts God when you suffer for him. She had good courage. And that's absolutely right. At any time, she could have just said, I'm going to eat the pork. And maybe them boys would have folded. Nope. Keep going.
For when she saw her 7 sons slain within the space of 1 day, she bare it with a good courage because of the hope that she had in the Most High. Verse 21. Yea, she exhorted every one of them in her own language, filled with courageous spirits, and stirring up her womanish thoughts with a manly stomach. She said unto them,
She said and bellowed out how much I love you. Her womanly spirit. She upbraided you in only the way a woman and a mother could, but with the power and ferocity of a man. That's right. Imagine a baby being scout. Your baby, a mother at the game, and the scouts are there. That is the loudest woman on earth.
right,
That's right. That's my baby. Yo, Rick, you got. Yo, Rick, how you gonna let them do that to my baby? You see my baby over there? Yeah, that's my baby. Y'all need to get him for your team. That's the spirit that she had for God.
right.
God for the Most High. That's right, baby. You get all that back. Get them hands and feet up. Take out your tongue, baby. Show that man we have no cowards in this family. That's the spirit that mother had. God.
And she was still feminine behind that.
And she was still feminine behind it. She was still feminine behind it. Right? Keep going.
Verse 22. And cannot tell how ye came into my womb.
I don't know how you got into my womb. Well, you stupid idiots that say it's my body, my choice. Keep going.
For I neither gave you breath nor life.
I neither gave you what?
Breath nor
I
life.
neither gave you what?
Breath nor life.
God did that. You don't have the right to take it away then. Keep going.
Neither was it I that formed the members of every one of you.
I didn't make you. You're an incubator, according to the Bible. That's not my words, that's the Bible words. Keep going.
Verse 23. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and a life again.
Give you what?
Breath and life again.
Give you what?
Breath and life again.
Life of what?
Again.
Yeah, life again. He's going to give you breath and life. He's going to take you to a magical place when you die. Read that again.
Verse 23. But doubtless the creator of the world, who formed the generation of man and found out in the beginning of all things, will also of his own mercy give you breath and life again.
He's going to give you breath and life again. Not take you to a magical place where you live eternally. He's going to give you breath and life again. Reincarnation is biblical. This woman and her children knew this. This is why you had to learn heaven and hell during slavery. Otherwise, you wouldn't have listened. Yeah, so long as we love the vagina, I don't have to fear whiteness. I don't have to fear death. You think brothers will ever stop loving vagina? Yeah, then I don't fear white men. Kill me. You know you just killed a woman and a son. You know how many of them are teenagers? Yeah, all my men love vagina. One of them is going to survive all this. I'll be back as his son. I'll be back. Yeah, that's right. Kill me. I'll be back in this month. You'll be pushing paper with a wheelbarrow. I have the faith that that'll happen. I know you got a gun in my head right now. Screw you. I'm not eating pork. You'll be pushing a wheelbarrow, and I'll be on the street saying you're the devil. That's what's going to happen here. And you know what? Here's the thing. Y'all think of it like, yo, he must be so. It's not like he's just out of his mind believing something that didn't happen. Yeah, my answers have to deal with a nigga named Nebuchadnezzar. Last I checked, God made that nigga crazy, then deposed him out of his throne. Do what you want to do, bro. Right? God took him out of his throne, then a generation later, in a whole other country, dispossessed him, and then they allowed us to rebuild my temple off their dollar. The Persians paid for our temple to be rebuilt. Do what you want to do. You think this is my first rodeo? Have you not heard of my people? Look, here's the thing. Y'all got some people in. Go ask what told me about what they did to the Egyptians. Go ask on their hieroglyphs if they've ever heard of Jews in Egypt. Oh, the Jews. You might not want to mess with them. Yeah, you might hear a bad report. Do what you want to do. I'll be just fine. I have faith in that. Do exactly what you want to do, bro. It's up to you. I'll be back. They had this faith before Christ. Keep going.
As ye now regard not your own selves for his law's sake.
As you regard not your own self. What's your own self? This life. I'm going to, and here's a beautiful thing. As they're not regarding themselves, it's really what Paratazar said. You're teaching a lesson to the nation. If a woman can stand there and her children and just graciously die, what are grown men doing? Keep going.
Verse 24. Now Antiochus also himself despised.
No, thanking himself.
thinking himself despised, and suspecting it to be a reproachful speech.
Yeah, he looks bad because of this. You literally just killed these 7 cats while their mama cheered on simply because they wouldn't eat a pork chop. That kind of looks bad. That's bad optics. Keep going. Like, so you can understand. Do you know why civil rights happened? They covered it a few weeks ago on Let It Be Known. Civil rights really happened because America was having to deal with the Soviets really saying, yeah, come to America where you'll be beat like a black man. And then the American had to look at it and be like, yeah, that's a bad look. The dogs and the fire hoses, yeah, democracy's great and everybody should benefit, but look at the 10 o'clock news, look at Selma. Yeah, so maybe we should change the narrative in America. Khan.
Salakia, so man, what you're saying is correct, because that it was a lot of what's the name of that system that they have in Cuba? Communists.
Yeah, Khan.
There was a lot of black communists.
Oh, yeah.
There was a lot of black communists.
The Black Panthers was a communist organization. They started out selling Mao books.
And they blacklisted Paul Robeson.
Paul Robeson was what's it called?
Was blacklist. Was blacklist because he didn't. You know what I'm saying? When he usually
I believe I went to his elementary school.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to deny it, but I'm not going to say that I am.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's, you know what I'm saying, during that time that what was going on.
I wouldn't be surprised. Keep going. Was yet alive while the youngest was yet alive.
Suspecting it to be a reproach speech, Willis, the youngest, was yet alive and did not exhort him by words, but also assured him with oaths that he would make him both a rich and happy man if he would turn from the laws of his fathers, and that also he would take him for his friend and trust him with good affairs.
Meaning what? I'm going to make you Donald Trump's best friend.
Right.
If you will be Kanye West. This hat makes me feel like if you just go out, smile, and say, this hat makes me feel like I'm Superman. Not to down the brother because he switched up his tone now, but that's an event that happened, right? If you'll sit there, we gotta get through this. Just hold it, I got you. Like, if you, basically, he's trying to make himself not be the animal that he already has painted himself. Basically, petting him like a dog. He's trying to change the image that you've already put out there. You killed 6 of his brothers, and now you want the 7th one to just sit there and be like it didn't happen. This is impressive. You kill somebody's child, give them $6 million, and think that's the end of it. They should just shut up and let it be. Keep going.
Verse 25. But when the young man would in no case hearken unto him, the king called his mother and exhorted her that she would counsel the young man to save his life.
Right? Meaning, talk to your son. Keep going.
Verse 26. And when he had exhorted her with many words, she promised. Verse 27. But she, bowing herself toward him, laughing the cruel tyrant to scorn, spake in her country language on his manner. O my son, have pity upon me that I bare thee 9 months in the womb, and gave thee such 3 years to be nourished thee, and brought thee up into this age, and endured the troubles of education. Verse 28. I beseech thee, my son, look upon the heaven and the earth, and all that is therein, that consider that the power made them of things that were not, and so was mankind made likewise.
Keep going.
Verse 29.
And what? She's explaining to this brother, this is why you should have good courage. Keep going, 29.
Verse 29. Fear not this tormentor, but being worthy of thy brethren, take
what?
Thy death.
Being what?
Worthy of thy brethren.
What does that mean? Whatever happens to Thug should happen to Gunna. Be worthy of your brother. You wanted to be a part of this gang. You want to be down with these groups, right? Tekashi 692, you gang. Every cat was seeing him one time, he was just whatever. Now every other word out your mouth is blood now, right? Bo, you should get a blood reward, right?
Right.
Shouldn't Takashi have gotten a blood reward?
Right.
Well, he didn't want a blood reward. So what's it called? He didn't want what's worthy of his brethren. Keep going. Take thy death. He didn't want to take his death.
Take thy death, that I may receive thee again in the mercy with thy brethren.
And mercy with thy brethren. We'll get this all back. Keep going.
Verse 30. While she was yet speaking these words, the young man said, Whom wait ye for? I will not obey the king's commandment, but I will obey the commandment of the law that was given unto our fathers by Moses.
What are you waiting for? Kill me. I'm not doing it. Keep going.
Verse 31. And thou that hast been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shalt not escape the hands of the power.
Keep going.
Verse 32. For we suffer because of our
We
sins.
suffer because of our sins. Keep going.
Verse 33. And though the living Most High be angry with us a little while for a chastening and correction, yet shall he be at one again with his servants.
Right. Keep going.
Verse
Keep going.
34.
Temporary. Keep going.
But thou, O godless man,
Right.
and
You have no power. Keep going.
and of all other most wicked, be not lifted up without a cause, nor puffed up with uncertain hopes, lifting up thy hand against the servants of the power.
Keep going.
Verse 35. For thou hast not yet escaped the judgment of Almighty God, who seeth all things.
You will be dealt with. Keep going.
Verse 36. For our brethren who now have suffered a short pain are dead under the power's covenant of everlasting life. But thou, through the judgment of the power, shall receive just punishment for thy pride.
You're going to receive a punishment for the pride. What's the pride? What is the punishment? He who kills with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Right.
Keep going.
Verse 37. But I, as my brethren, offer up my body and life for the laws of our fathers, beseeching the power that he would speedily be merciful unto our nation, and that thou by torments and plagues mayest confess that he alone is the power.
Keep going. Meaning what? He's going to torment you and plague you for what you've done to us. Keep going.
Verse 38. And that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon our nation, may cease.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 39. Then the king, being in a rage, handed him worse than all the rest.
What? Hopefully, by me having this gumption, and this is the spirit of Christ truly, and that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon all our nation, may cease. I pray that this is the last group of. This is not only the spirit of Christ, this is the spirit of Paul. For I could wish that I was accursed for Christ for the sake of my people. Read that 38 again, and this is powerful.
Verse 38.
No, I said I'm going to read it. It's like it. And that in me and my brethren the wrath of the Almighty, which is justly brought upon all our nation, may cease. If us having to go through all of this is what it takes to stop you, I'm glad for that. That's what he's saying here. Maybe God will, maybe seeing the 7 of us die is what it will take for God to say, okay, enough is enough. I literally just made my daughter watch her 7 sons die. Let me get these crackers up out of here. Maybe that's what it needs. So I'm ready to die now. I'm ready to get all this over. So if I have to die to save every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, come on, take my hands. Take my tongue. Take it all. That's what this brother just said. Read 39.
Verse 39. Then the king, being in a rage, handed him worse than all the rest, and took it grievously that he was mocked. Verse 40. So this man died undefiled and put his whole trust in the Most High. Verse 41. Last of all the sons, the mother died.
Last, after all those sons died, they killed the mom. They couldn't even leave her to mourn. Right? They killed her. Right? They killed this woman after making her watch them kill her 7 sons. I try to read this every year, right? Or make sure this story is remembered every year because this should be remembered. Remember the days of old, right? And we shouldn't just remember these. We should be going back and getting all these accounts and memoirs of slaves and bringing these out not only just in class, but at camp too, especially. Letting our people know, because a lot of our people don't really understand slavery at all. The idea of it. We need to be out teaching them this is things that happen to us. These are the horrors that these people did to us. Right? It's more than just you get whipped once or twice. It was some real horror. You would be cooking, making the most delicious meals in the world, just for them to do unseemly things to scraps. Like might piss in the bucket a bit or spit in it to make sure you can't take a little bit of Christmas turkey or some other little like piece of rice back to your starving children. This is what needs to be remembered. Right? Keep reading.
Verse 42. Let this be enough now to have spoken concerning the idolatrous feasts and the extreme tortures.
The idolatrous feasts and the extreme tortures. When we would not celebrate their holidays, this is what they did to us. They would beat us, cut out our tongues, cut off our limbs, throw us in cauldrons, and watch us die. Right? This is what happened. This is how you became a Christian. Right? Right? This is how you started to worship Christmas. Right here. Drop that. Give me the article. It just should say it up there. Time. Times article. If anybody has any questions online, let me know. I'm online. Ready on that.
You want it from the beginning?
Not from the beginning. Wherever you got it. Con. Yeah, con, because I kind of left it.
I also got the cannibalism.
Cannibalism. Con, we might skip over that one. Okay, you got it. Start where you're at.
This is Time Magazine article. I got the sense from your book that there was a bigger spectacle made over Civil War Christmases in the war's aftermath than during it. 90 to 95% of the Christmas propaganda in this product of the period from about 1880, a few years after the North stopped enforcing construction, to about 1929 when the stock market crashed. This was during the time when white Southerners created the so-called lost cause to justify the Confederate lifestyle. In the 1890s, Southerners were trying to reclaim national power in Washington.
Long story short, the South is trying to basically recategorize slavery, meaning make slavery seem like some grand, beautiful thing. Read the next part, the United Daughters of Confederacy.
Khan. The United Daughters of Confederacy were given these warm, heated appraisals of the Christian experience of the South. Enslaved people, scored of authors would devote whole chapters to Christmas and memories. memoirs, novels, and short stories. They aren't just about Christmas, but Christmas was a major focus. One of the most important components of these works trying to defend slavery and Southern customs, before the Civil War. And they did win over a lot of hearts with it.
Okay, now keep going.
Khan. What were some of the myths?
Go down to and what was Christmas time really like for the enslaved? It'll be in both letters. So basically, long the story short, white people tried to paint slavery as nice and beautiful for slaves. That's a lie. Some of us did get okay. It was like you got a Christmas bonus after after a whole year of slavery, literally. You'd get a nice little Christmas bonus, right? Keep going.
And what was Christmas really like for the enslaved? Enslaved people didn't all get a long holiday. White planters was own scores, hundreds, or in a few cases, even thousands of slaves wrote in their own private diaries that they resent given the time off. They resent given the time off at Christmas at all.
Read that again. Read that from the top. Enslaved people didn't all get a long holiday. White planters. Read that again.
White planters who own scores hundreds, or in a few cases even thousands of slaves wrote in their own diaries, in their own private diaries, that they resented giving them time off at Christmas at all.
Meaning what? They did not want them working. They did not want them to have time off. They wanted to keep their slaves working 24/7. Right? That's what this is talking about. Con. Right? That's the love that they had for us. Keep going. We got to get through this. Con. Keep going.
Another thing that's never pointed out in these fictional accounts later is that a large percentage of enslaved people were rented on 1-year contracts and often allowed to return home to their original masters on Christmas.
So basically, for the entire year, you wouldn't even be home with your family. You would be loaned out or rented for the whole year. This is the only day you can come home. Why? Usually the contract's over and it's not time for you to go to the next master. White man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Keep going.
On January 1st, they would be rented out again, and the master would pick out their new employer.
Keep going.
Even if they were given good feast and good presents, enslaved people had to spend the whole Christmas period worrying about January 1st.
They literally were eating in fear of what happens in the new year. You know, the rent's getting cut, just like you were worried about your rent getting cut off. Come January 1st. You're going to eat that turkey, get them presents, and your rent's getting cut off. Your lights are getting cut off. Come January. Right? Keep going.
They would be rented out again, and the master would pick out their new employer. Whether their new employer would be someone who would whip them a lot or would abuse them in other ways.
Is my master about to sell me to a gay brothel? Because that's literally a thing. Is my master about to sell me to a gay brothel? Right? Is my master about to sell me to some coal mine? right? These are things that we as a people have to worry about. Keep going. Then now, this is what we should remember. This is why I call this "Remember the Days Bowls." It's not just the beautiful things that happen to us. We should remember the evil things that happen to us too. Keep going.
There were even cases of masters and mistresses giving enslaved people as Christmas gifts to family members and to their children.
And this is a holiday you want to celebrate, a holiday where you were the gift. You will be separated from your family, just like that woman was separated from her son. And this is the holiday you want to celebrate. Keep going.
Lewis Hughes, who had escaped from enslavement and later in life published an autobiography entitled 30 Years a Slave, recalled in his book how he had literally been presented by his purchaser as a gift to his wife on Christmas Eve. Tuskegee Institute principal Robert Russa Morton, one of the leading black educators in the U.S. in the early 20th century, remembered being a child in Prince Edward County, Virginia, and having to watch his father being conferred as a Christmas present.
His father be what?
Conferred.
As a what?
As a Christmas present.
As a Christmas present. Somebody sold up this boy's father. And then you want to ask why our families are still destroyed. Then you want to ask why we have no industry. These are things on purpose. Right? You're selling the blacksmith's father off because he can't teach blacksmithing to his son so his son can own a living.
Right.
Like, this is all planned. This is exactly what happens. Keep going.
During an estate settlement. And LaSalle Corbett Pickett, the widow of George Pickett, the famed Confederate general who led Pickett's charge at Gettysburg, claims in her own memoirs that her present one year was a 6-week-old black baby boy, accompanied by the deed that made him mine.
Now, give me Joel 3 and 9. Right, and that's it. Give me Joel 3 and 9. We're about to end off with these last two scriptures. Joel 3 and 9. And this is ridiculous. Y'all want to celebrate a holiday that is about the sale of your own people. That's what our people celebrate today. A holiday about the sale of our own race. Give me 3, start at verse. Give me verse 2. Give me verse 1.
Joel chapter 3 verse 1. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. Verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Verse 3, and they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot, given a boy for an harlot.
They have cast lots for my people. They sat there and took my people and bought them onto their pagan holidays, right? They used them like slaves, like property. They cast lots for them. What does that mean? That's an auction block. That is the auction block. And they did what?
Cast lots for my people.
Keep going.
And have given a boy for an harlot.
For a what?
An harlot.
Some white man's evil whore has some 6-week-old baby boy. Right? What the hell does a white woman need with a little baby boy? I'm not giving my wife a baby boy. Maybe a baby girl. And it's not even a baby girl. It's like some 6-7-year-old that can follow my wife around and carry a purse. The hell do you need a little baby boy, white boy for? Now understand, to a certain extent, you do want them younger. Because the idea is when you're 80, they'll be about 60, still able to do all your manual labor. Right? But yeah, you don't need a 6-week-old. Right? Keep going. And sold
a girl for wine.
Merry Christmas. I'll give you a discount. Give me 3 of your finest bottles. I'll give you this little black girl. Right? That's what they did to our people during slavery. And they want to forget this during Christmas. We talk about the rockets red glaring during the 4th of July. Christmas is no much better during slavery. We just have to be there and be like, these crackers got freedom. Christmas, we literally had to question, will we be here after the new year? This day is called Heartbreak Day. This is what this day was remembered by black people. Heartbreak Day. And you want to forget it. Why? Because you're allowed to go and watch a ball drop? You, like these other stupid people, you're happy that a few masters let you get some time off. But the master just said, I don't like giving you the time off. I wish I could work you through Christmas. Right? Keep going.
That they might drink.
That they might get drunk. Right? Keep going.
Verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and O Zidon?
Meaning what? These are African countries. Tyre and Zidon. Remember that. These are Africans. Keep going.
And all the coast of Palestine.
The coast of Palestine, those are the Philistines. We just broke that down earlier. Keep going.
Will ye render me a recompense?
Will you going to pay me back? Keep going.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head?
And I'm going to get you back for it. Keep going.
Verse 5. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly, pleasant things.
Right? Keep going.
Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
Have you sold unto the who?
The Grecians.
The who?
The Grecians.
The who?
The Grecians.
You sold the children of Israel unto the Greeks. Who do we just read about took this woman and her 7 sons?
The Greeks.
The Greeks. The Grecians killed this woman and her 7 sons, right? Now, okay, now keep going. That ye
remove them afar from their border. Verse 7. Behold, I will raise them out of the place whither ye have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head.
Yeah, and then he's going to come and get us, and this is what's going to happen to them. Give me the next verse, verse 7.
Verse 7.
8.
Verse 8. And I will sell your sons and your daughters into the hand of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabians, and to a people far off, for the Most High hath spoken it.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen to those Africans that thought it was good to sell us to our oppressor, what's called during the transatlantic slave trade. Now drop that. Give me verse. Give me verse 9.
Verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles.
Salaki. Give me Amos 1 and 9. Salaki, that's my bad. Give me Amos 1 and 9, and we're going to get this. And I'm going to show you. You be getting the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge has the truth, right? And the white man is the devil. The white man is Edom, and I'm going to prove that. I'm going to prove right now in the Bible that white people are the Edomites. I don't need no history. I don't need none of that. White people are the Edomites. Now you'll notice Joel and Amos are right next to each other, right? So someone who just reads this through might just notice this in a span of an hour. White people are the Edomites. You got it?
Con.
Read it for me. Salaki Paratazai, you got your sword? Yeah, stay in Joel though. You stay in Joel 3. Stay around verse 4.
3 and 4?
Yeah, 3 and 4. Keep going. Read what you got, Ahar.
Amos chapter 1 verse 9. Thus saith the Most High, for 3 transgressions of Tyrese, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom.
So what?
The whole captivity to Edom.
The whole what?
The whole captivity to Edom.
Now, why is that important? Who's Tyrus? Very simple. Tyrus is Tyre or Tyree. That's just another way to say it. Read what you got, brother.
Job chapter 3, verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon,
Right.
and all the coasts of Palestine? Well,
Now drop that. Give me verse 6.
Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto
the region.
The regions.
Right, now give me what you got. Give me verse 9 again.
Verse 9. Thus saith the Most High, the 3 transgressions of Tyrese, for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because they delivered up the whole captivity to Edom.
Now read verse 6 again, brother.
Verse 6. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians.
The who?
The Grecians.
The who?
The Grecians.
Read that again. Because they delivered up the whole. No. Talking about Har. Read what you got.
Because they delivered the whole captivity to Edom.
To who?
To Edom.
To who?
To Edom.
But yours says to who? What does yours say? To the who?
To the Grecians.
To the who?
Unto the Grecians.
And yours says to the?
To Edom.
So we got the Tyres selling the people supposedly to the regions in one verse, but in another verse it says it sells them to the Edomites. What might that lead me to believe?
That the Grecians are Edomites.
Yeah, here's a sad thing. History tells you the same thing. History will tell you the Greco-Romans are the Edomians. That's not hard to look up. The white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
That is easily seen in the Bible, right? We are not telling you something strange or abnormal, right? When we tell you this is an evil symbol, we are telling you the truth, okay? People died for this. We remember the traditions of old inside of this school, right? We remember what what's called Hamitic nations did by teaming up and helping our oppressor in the past and in the modern day, right? Understand, scripture is manifold. This is not a prophecy. This is an event that became prophetic. Do you understand what that means? This happened, and not realizing when we were talking about it, we were also talking about an event that would happen in the future. Meaning what? The transatlantic slave trade is the second time this has happened to us. Hamites selling us to Edomites. Right? And that's the point. We want to forget Heartbreak Day. We want to forget what happened to the sister and the 7th son. We want to forget all the evil that was benefit on us. Why? So Antiochus can make us his friend. We're friends with Joe Biden now because we celebrate Christmas with him. Joe Biden will let us have abortions because we vote for him. Right? He won't stop our enemies from killing us. But yeah, that's what happens. Right? With that, pass class over to prison officer. How y'all?
Clap it up for the class.
Good. You got it.